So today is day 14 out of 16 that I've worked 24-hour shifts. And I went to bed last night knowing that I only had one patient in the hospital. She was stable. I had a C-section to attend this morning, but I really thought, I'm calm, I'm relaxed, I'm mostly packed. I'm going to have a good night's sleep, right? And then the phone rang. And there was a nurse on the other line that said, we need you to come in for this C-section this morning. It's a routine, repeat scheduled C-section. I don't normally go into those, but just for background, I'm a pediatric hospitalist, a locums pediatric hospitalist working in rural areas. I've been a physician for over 35 years, and I've been doing the locums peds hospitalist bit for almost 15 years. Really like it. But I get this call, and this woman had the most calming, melodic voice. We'd like you to come in for the C-section, please. Okay. I was awake. I was dressed. No big deal. I was getting ready to go in anyway, right? As I walk out the door of my cottage, the Airbnb I'm staying in, all of a sudden the scene shifts and I'm inside a hotel. And I'm hurrying to get down the elevator, out the door to get to this section. And I got stopped by no less than 4 people. I got stopped by housekeeping. I got stopped by maintenance. I got stopped by the nice guy at the front desk. And when I got outside, I got stopped by my son, which is odd because I hadn't taken him with me that I could remember. I'm like, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm here with my friend. Don't you remember? No, where's your friend? Oh, still upstairs in the room asleep. I didn't know if it was a female friend, a male friend. No clue. But I didn't have time to stop and ask because I had to get to the C-section. So I get in the car, I drive to the hospital, I get to the unit, and suddenly I'm not in the hospital where I'm currently working, and I'm not in the hospital in the town where that hotel is. Completely different hospital. There's some nurse sitting at the desk screaming at you, "We need you in there now. We need you in there now," pointing at the delivery room. Like, okay, now I'm a little freaked. So the hospital that I was in is one the hospital I was in this room was one I'd been to before. And at the time, I still didn't realize I was dreaming. It's a hospital I've worked at for many years, but they started doing some reconstruction, not just remodeling, but reconstruction a couple of years ago. And supplies are never in the same place from one visit to the next. So I go into where the scrubs are supposed to be, and there's nothing there. The shelves are empty. Every hospital has 2 places where they keep scrubs for any department. So I go into the other place where they keep scrubs, and there's nothing on that rack of shelves that has anything to do with scrubs. I don't recognize any of it. And I'm looking around, and the family that's waiting for the C-section is behind me, and there's these 2 housekeepers. Quick secret about working in hospitals, housekeeping knows everything. There were 2 housekeepers there, and I looked over at them, and one of them said, "Medium or large?" And then handed me a set of scrubs and a cap and booties and a mask. And I grabbed all that. I set the booties and the cap and the mask aside, changing out of my clothes and putting on these scrubs right there in the hallway in front of the whole family. I didn't care that I was changing clothes in a hallway. And the family didn't seem to care because they were all changing clothes too. There's like 5 of them getting ready to change and go in and watch the C-section. We generally only allow one family member into the C-section room, and it's only if everything is going well, only under certain circumstances. So next thing I know, I'm headed back toward the C-section, and the one nurse there is still screaming at me, "We need you now, we need you now." And I go in there thinking the baby's in distress, and I'm gonna find the nurses running a code blue on this baby. I go in there, the baby hasn't even been born yet. The OB looks at me and says, "Where the hell have you been?" And And it didn't take me long to figure out or be told by them and get this confirmed by the nurses that he didn't decide he wanted me present at the C-section until after mom was prepped and draped, and he was ready to cut skin. And then he had to wait while I drove in and changed the scrubs, and he was not happy about that. And he continued to grumble with occasional obscenities the whole time. So we're taking the baby, and I just ignore this because this is sometimes the way it is. I take the baby back to the nursery. One of the nurses is with me. I left her taking care of the baby, and I reached into my pocket, my phone pocket. You know, everybody has a dedicated pocket where they keep their phone. I reach into my phone pocket, and my phone's not there. Now I'm really freaking out, okay? So I go backtracking to all the places that I'd been since I walked in the door of the hospital. I found the phone case, but no phone, and worse, no credit cards. I used to keep my credit cards in a phone holder, and now I had lost all my credit cards, and it was right after a big holiday payday. And I couldn't even call my son and have him start canceling my cards because I didn't have my phone. My heart rate was about 180. I was hyperventilating, and I was thinking, I don't like this. This is not fun. I've never had a panic attack. I wonder if I'm having a panic attack. I've never had one. But if I were having a panic attack, this is what I would imagine it would feel like. And then the coach in me, for those of you who don't know, I'm a master coach. I've been coaching for 5 years. The coach in me started analyzing all of my emotions, isolating each one, figuring out the trigger for each one. And I'm still hyperventilating and tachycardic. And I'm going, I don't like this. Make it stop. And as soon as I said that, I woke up and realized it was all a dream. My heart rate was still over 140, and I was still breathing fast. And so it took me about 15 minutes to calm down physiologically. But it made me wonder, how many times do I wake up anxious in the middle of the night and I've had a dream about work? How many times does my stress from work follow me into sleep? And how true is this for my colleagues who are nurses, physicians, respiratory therapists, phlebotomists? I'd really like to hear from you about this. And sweet dreams, truly.